What's up, guys? Welcome back to Dyad in the Force, episode 22. We have some small subjects to talk about. Ryan Johnson has inexorably stirred up a couple of controversial things with his comments about Snoke. I think it makes narrative sense. People are twisting it. And then, of course, we had the Obi-Wan Kenobi cast revealed. We're going to take a couple minutes here to guess or make predictions as to who can play who. There's a couple of rumors circulating. And then onto the main dish, we are going to be talking about the Bad Batch because it is a month away and they just dropped the trailer and there's a lot to talk about. So join us as we talk on Dyad in the Force.
Unseen for generations, a Dyad in the Force.
Just go.
Hello and welcome back. I am excited. Thank you for sticking around here at Dyad in the Force. And today we have an awesome guest. We have Harith. Hello there. How are you doing?
What's up?
What do we call you? What is Harith?
Okay, so a little origin time. Mainly, I was just trying to figure out like an online just persona, and I was just like, just take my middle name, I guess.
Oh, is that your middle name?
Yeah, I was like, that works completely for just so I just had like an online identity, so it's just like, why not? It works. So
Also, I know you have a mic. Is the correct one selected?
Because I was on.
You were on Zoom before, yeah.
Yeah, that was the issue.
There you go.
Oh, you sounds much better.
Sorry, I was using my laptop last night.
Okay, so yeah, sound great now. But for those of you who are joining live on the chat, let me shout you guys out. We have with us Brandon Dean, Saint Pat Saka, B-Man, Darth Not Vader, Cad Bane, X-Core Gamer Skills, Star Wars Lawyer, Carter, Ace Bronx, Cad Bane, I think I said that already, Brian with the beard, Saint Pat. Guys, welcome to the show. Ace Bronx with the clutch, $2.79. That is 15 ramen packs.
Ramen packs.
He says, here's some more ramen for you. I am absolutely thrilled. Thank you very much. I appreciate you looking out for me.
Itadakimasu.
The usual suspects.
My favorite anime is Naruto. Alexander Mayfield, welcome to the show. So Harith, just for people who might not be familiar with who you are, can you introduce yourself and what you do specifically?
Hi, I'm Harith. I mainly have a channel which is Harith Productions. I am mainly on TikTok. I used to be on YouTube, but I still kind of upload there every once in a while. You can mainly find me at, like I said, Harith Productions. It's not that hard, just literally search it. And I mainly do Star Wars content, but I used to dabble a little bit with NFL content, but I kind of switched back to Star Wars because I just kind of found the NFL fan base to be a little bit more toxic.
Absolutely.
Fascinating.
Toxicity exists everywhere.
Seeps from everywhere.
What is this? Alexander says, let's go BNB_pod. Are you Alex? Oh, that's the Alex. Okay.
Oh, that's Alex. Okay, cool.
I can recognize it now for sure. First time you've watched Dyad live, wahoo. Absolutely, man. We're live every week. Thanks to Chaco for paving the way. I used to pre-record this podcast, but I found a lot of value in interacting with you guys. AJ's in the chat, Jedi_Starkiller. Welcome, dude. And it just makes the show a lot more fun, interacting with you guys live.
It really does. And I appreciate the switch because I feel like you're always like pushing me to step up my game too. What's fun is I was just like trying to get into better intro animations, and now you have one. I'm like, dang it! All right, gotta step that up too.
Oh, are you talking about the Stinger transition?
Yeah.
I can send you those. I just downloaded a bunch of like free Stinger transitions.
so I just haven't used them yet.
So let's get to our first topic. Ryan Johnson, I know what he says is largely innocent, and there is a rational explanation for all of these, but we know when the toxic fandom menace takes these quotes and rolls with them, it's largely out of context, first of all. It's tough. Our jobs get tougher. And so the main quote being, and that a lot of toxic fans are running with is, I didn't care about Snoke. So,
Shocker.
Chaco, could you elaborate what he actually meant, or what the full quote is if you have that in front of you? I'm sorry if I didn't put that there.
So I don't have the full quote in front of me, but basically he was just talking about how there's complaints that Snoke felt like a wasted character, but it doesn't matter because Snoke is a narrative device. Just like Palpatine was in the original trilogy, we didn't get anything from him. We didn't get a name. We didn't get Palpatine, and he literally didn't have a first name. His purpose was to be the opposing force to Vader in order to serve as Vader, a vehicle for Vader's transition back to the light side. And that happens often. It's not a new it's not a new phenomenon. There's some characters who who was the general that they fought in the first season of Avatar: The Last Airbender? In Korra, we see him wandering around in the midst of
Oh,
And that's,
or
I
whatever.
think that's Zuko's uncle, isn't it? Not Uncle Iroh, but like not uncle. Then I think it was like another
it's
general that.
someone up. Well, okay, but
Yeah,
we don't
know.
care. We don't care, right?
he was in the Prison Break episode, if I remember correctly.
We don't care enough to not remember his name.
but that's exactly my point. Is that character serves as the foil. You know, while Zuko is the antagonist, this character is the foil. We don't need that much detail on them because they're serving a narrative purpose, and this exists in everything.
Of course, Chris and Sokka, especially Sokka, coming in with that last minute information. Admiral Zhao is his name.
Ah.
But yeah, largely what Chaco said, like, if you read the full interview, Ryan was just saying, I didn't care for Snoke because at the end of the day, the story was about Kylo, or the story that he wanted to tell. And there's a lot of people running with it. I'm pretty sure, you know, the usual suspects just have the title. Ryan Johnson didn't care about Snoke, which means that there was no care, there was no planning in The Last Jedi, and he just... What do you want to say? Somebody snapped their lips. Smacked their lips.
Mainly, it just boils down to the same, like what has been for the last years. Sequel bad. Disney ruined Star Wars. It's just the same. They're just going around the same topics over and over again, even though they did it before, and Ryan did it for the sake of the trilogy to make it not repetitive, because he was like, because as much as I love Force Awakens, he was trying to break the formula that Star Wars has been going with for the last 6 films. So he's like, you know what, I'm going to kill Snoke a film early and make the next film completely interesting and have Kylo Ren be the main villain. He didn't know that the JJ was going to bring back Palpatine, so his main goal was, okay, let's push the development along a film early and make the next film completely different in Return of the Jedi and make JJ have to do something different. That was literally why he did it. He's like, let's break down these formulas of the master and the apprentice, because usually it's the redemptive apprentice and the pure evil master. So he was trying to break down that formula. Of course, that went back to it, but the main point was, let's push Kylo Ren development and see how he does in the next film.
Yeah, of course. And you know, a lot of the titles we see, of course, start with Ryan Johnson reveals that he didn't care about Snoke. Now, a lot of us, and I'm pretty sure in the chat as well, knew this because Snoke died in The Last Jedi.
What? No!
I don't know if you guys are aware, but he did die in The Last Jedi, meaning he wasn't as important as they or you would assume. So that means he was a narrative tool for Kylo's development. And if
What
you,
a concept.
yeah, if you walked out of that theater with Snoke dead, and you were like, Rian Johnson obviously cared about this character, or was not using this character as a narrative tool, I don't know what to tell you. But it has been now 3-4 years. When was The Last Jedi? 2018?
2017.
2017?
2017, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been 3-4 years now since that movie. And you think this is like breaking news. Rian Johnson reveals Snoke wasn't important.
I'm a little saddened that we even have these discussions. I mean, it's important, but that we talk about or break down these tools that are being used to ruin Star Wars. Like, if you didn't like a movie, it's okay. That's fine. We can move on from there, though. But yeah, just like everything, we are not going to get full developed arcs for each and every character. In fact, I'm quite impressed by the sheer amount of people that The Last Jedi did develop. It's more than any other Star Wars film that we actually had arcs for a number of characters. It was quite unheard of, but you can't be mad because there is a character you personally wanted to know more about that didn't get developed. It's kind of like I hear people complain like, "Oh, the Knights of Ren were in it," and you're like, "There is no indication anywhere ever that they would be. We saw them on screen for 1 second, and they were mentioned by name once. That's not an indication that they're going to be in the next film. You thought they looked cool, you wanted to see them, but it doesn't mean that. Does it serve the story specifically? Does it serve Rey's story? Because we're following Rey. Is it following the main character's story? If not, then it doesn't need to be there. And I'm gonna keep using Admiral Zhao because I think that's a great illustration of the point. Because if we were following Zuko, then yeah, we would have heard a lot more about Admiral Zhao. I fully believe that. But we're following Aang. That character's backstory is not relevant. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and do you guys think that Rise of Kylo Ren was largely a capitulation, or was that planned? Like,
oh, that was planned for sure.
Okay, yeah.
I think it was generally planned. They just added in new elements, like with the Palpatine lightning, but for the most part, it was for sure planned.
Yeah, I mean, the argument is going to be persistent, right? They don't care about the Star Wars trilogy, or they don't care about the Star Wars franchise. Nothing is planned, but we see there's even High Republic stuff in Rise of Kylo Ren. Like,
it's the most planning we've ever had.
Yeah,
but toxic fans don't read High Republic.
That's fair.
And like, they didn't even announce Project Luminous back when Rise of Kylo Ren came out, right?
No.
And those and they had sprinkles in there.
I gotta say, in the chat, Alex was talking about how he wants to start a petition to start calling Cad Bane Darth Brooks. And I just thought that made me happy.
I still maintain Cad Bane should be played by Stephen Lang.
Yeah, I could see that.
Definitely.
Brandon Dean says Mike Zero will turn it into a Brie Larson video. Yes. Rian Johnson reveals he didn't care about Snoke, was always supposed to be Brie Larson.
Evan Geeks and Gamers will turn
Stronger,
into a Catholic Kennedy video.
Stronger than Anakin and Luke combined. Oh man. I largely agree with that, Alex. Rian Johnson reveals the best Star Wars movie. I like this one. Risk Johnson. I'm gonna start calling him Risk Johnson. That's an awesome typo.
That's just a cool name.
Oh, it does fit him entirely, so I would say that works.
Yeah.
It sounds like a terribly obvious name of a protagonist in like an action film.
Yeah.
Everybody, Risk Johnson. Okay. All right, you and Cade Yeager can like chill.
I'm the CEO of Risk Assessment. I didn't see character development for Wrecker in the sequel trilogy, and I'm pretty bummed about it. I don't know if that's most likely a troll. Alex was that's you're confusing me. I think one of the members of the Bad Batch will die. We'll get to Bad Batch in a bit, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, to kind of close out this small little talking point, Snoke was never a big deal, and the amount of story we got in The Rise of Kylo Ren is about as much as they planned him to have.
I was gonna say, just to end this off, I feel like most of the criticisms people throw at Last Jedi, no offense, should be thrown at J.J. Abrams. Like the whole like Snoke being the most important figure, that wasn't set up by Ryan. That was JJ. So I feel like most of the criticisms are pointed at the wrong person. Like, I love Force Awakens, but that's all on JJ.
Who wrote? Alan Dean Foster wrote Force Awakens novel, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
So even as far back as The Force Awakens, he wrote Palpatine in. So
Right. It was that like little like "do it" line in there about
kill
Rey
him.
killing Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
So it could be argued that they planned that the entire time, and Snoke was just a misdirect. And the whole Last Jedi visual dictionary with Snoke having multiple bodies and having seen the rise and fall of empires, everyone was like, oh, he must have a huge backstory. No, he must be Palpatine because he's seen the rise and fall of empires and he has multiple bodies.
So that's kind of the weird thing that I see. Like, if you are looking for a pattern or something like that, or you're trying to figure something out and you come up with your theory, and then the next piece of information comes and it breaks your theory, is that piece of information wrong, or was your theory off? And you need to now factor it in and come up with a new theory.
Absolutely.
George R. R. Martin has like a great video about how writers should deal with theories. It's like, you shouldn't change your vision just because someone on the internet predicted your story beat. You should just continue with it.
Yeah. That's a great sentiment. I don't know how many instances there are of people like outright guessing. I don't think George R. R. Martin changed. I think everyone largely guessed that correctly, right? Did that whole Jon Snow thing? I don't know if you guys watched or read those books.
Mainly people got it right.
And he didn't change it, right?
No, it was the people that are doing the adaptation of it. The people I forget their actual name, but I feel bad for remembering it because it was during the Geeks and Gamers Hate Days. Was D&D? I forget their actual name though.
Benioff and Wise?
Yeah, Benioff and Wise.
Yeah.
They were the ones that changed most of the stuff, but I'm not quoted on that. But they changed a lot, apparently.
Yeah, there's a lot of deviations for sure. Star Wars Fanatic says the Rise of Kylo Ren should have been longer. I agree. I think the fight between Ren and Luke should have been definitely a little bit of a couple of more panels. I'm torn. Because on one side, you want to see as many panels as possible of Luke kicking ass, but on the other hand, you're like, no, it shouldn't be taking Luke this long.
Totally.
And also, just for Darth Not Vader in the chat, yes, this will be uploaded to YouTube. Well, it's going to stay on YouTube.
Yes. As soon as we're done here, you can rewatch it.
So, yeah, you can just pause it. I mean, you should be able to just pause it and come back later.
Yeah?
I believe.
What's funny is that Rian Johnson gets the blame, but he was going off the framework of JJ, and JJ was involved in the making of The Last Jedi. Yes.
Boom.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm back. My phone needed charging. Welcome back, Sokka. Hopefully your phone will last through this episode. Can we all agree that Rian Johnson made the most gorgeous Star Wars movie? Yes.
From a pure cinematography angle, yes.
It is beautiful. Yes, from a pure
Yes, yeah.
cinematography as well as like just in general.
Second place to me goes to Rogue One.
Ooh.
I agree. Dyad things. So moving on to our second small little topic to talk about today is the Obi-Wan cast. Chaco, what do we have for that?
Well, for the Obi-Wan cast, I have a sleeper pick for you guys.
Ooh.
And I'm just re-pulling up the
The pictures?
the photo right now. But because I can't remember the person's name. Okay, here we go. So my sleeper is actually going to be Simone Kessel. I'm going with Simone Kessel as Plug Eye. Yes,
Explain.
Plug Eye. If you read the Obi-Wan Kenobi novel, it's Legends, but it was written by John Jackson Miller. Great read. I really enjoyed that book. One of the antagonists in that book is a Tusken Raider warrior. And typically the Tusken Raider warriors were men, but this one, Plug Eye, has a bone to pick, and she is a badass. And you can tell it's Plug Eye because she has a red jewel. Like she lost one of her eyes and will replace it with a red jewel. So and that's why they call her Plug Eye. So yeah, I'm calling Simone Kessel for Plug Eye, mostly because that character was made canon in the From a Certain Point of View, A New Hope book. And so I think we're gonna see her on the screen. I'm excited. You heard it here first. I haven't heard anyone else talking about this.
Now, what makes you think it's Simone instead of Indira?
I am just a gut feeling. First I was thinking Indira, but I've switched. My gut has switched.
Okay. Cadman says, what was the Grand Inquisitor using Luminara's body for? Because he said he had uses for it.
I mean, it was used for luring Jedi. I think that was the main usage for it, but I don't know. Maybe he steeped her in hot water and made
An ultimate fate for Luminara.
All right, so let's go through this list of cast members and kind of give our best guesses as to who they could be playing. First on the list, we have Ewan McGregor. Your best guesses, guys?
He is playing a clone of Obi-Wan called Obi with two eyes.
1978 theories hit back.
Yes, okay. Obi-Wan Kenobi, of course. We have Aiden Christensen playing Darth Vader or flashback Anakin. I'm not sure, but I hope that's the case.
Or Nightmare Anakin.
Yes. Vader 2017 Anakin / Vader going into his fortress. That would be an interesting sequence to witness. Moses Ingram. This one is a bit of a
Enigma.
Enigma, yes. Let me see if I can put this picture up for you guys on the stream. You guys continue to ruminate on Moses Ingram.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know her from any other work, but they're going to need a lot of people that are unique in the story, right? You can't have everyone be a transplant from something else. So I'm going to lean on Moses as just being someone that is in the town, whatever town. If they're going to be taking any inspiration at all from the Obi-Wan novel, in that book, the first place he moves is close to a town. and as things start going wrong, and they're kind of beset by Tusken Raiders on one side and by the Hutts and their gangsters on the other side, and the settlement starts kind of falling apart by itself, Obi-Wan steps in because that's who he is. That's what he's trained to do. So that book is really about him learning that for him to succeed in his mission of taking care of Luke, he can't draw attention to himself. He can't save people because he has a more important mission. And so I would love to see Moses as someone prominent in that town.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What do you think, Harith?
Looking at it, I don't know why I'm getting this vibe, but I'm guessing Imperial Commander. I don't know why. I am just getting like
I can see that.
like a Captain Nita, but like female for Kenobi. I don't know why I'm getting that type of vibe. Like she's gonna be working under Vader.
She does kind of have like a regalness to her.
Regalness. Now there's a lot of people who think that Moses could be playing young Ahsoka. What are your thoughts on that? Just chime in.
I don't think Ahsoka's going to be in the show. I think she'll be mentioned. I think there'll be like a flashback where they just name drop her, but I don't think she'll actually be in the show. And if she is, it's probably just going to be like a voice of Ashley Eckstein as Obi-Wan is looking through the Force or something crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like a flashback Ahsoka.
Now, how far back is that flashback? Guys, I'm going to put on the... here is the image right now for you for the chat. How the Clone Wars, but like, so Moses Ingram, as we're looking up on the screen right now, is 24 or 27 years old. Do you think?
So.
Do you think she would be playing a Clone Wars like early teen Ahsoka?
If she is gonna be Ahsoka, I would guess like because what we know from Kenobi is it takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, so that should add up in age to around that mark because she was 14 at the beginning of the Clone Wars. 3 years should be 17 at 10. Yeah, she'd be 27. So that could add up as a middle-aged, like near or almost Rebels Ahsoka. I don't think she is playing Ahsoka, but that does add up.
Not to mention makeup and things like that. You
totally.
They can swing it. They can swing it.
I mean, my main apprehension to that is that it is not nearly enough time between this time period and the Mandalorian for her to be looking so different from Rosario Dawson.
You can make that work. You can make Rosario work as
you
a
can.
as an Rebels Ahsoka.
You can, like, given their they used Mark Hamill for the Mandalorian and de-aged him. They're gonna use Rosario Dawson and de-age her however they need to.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just never gonna get used to live action Ahsoka. That actually accent. I need to separate it. It's so hard.
We got Chris in the chat saying, "That's right, black don't crack. Just ask Lando."
True. It's true,
But I think Moses Ingram, largely. Let's bring our stage back here. Moses Ingram largely. I don't know. I get like new-ish vibes, right? Because she did say in her Instagram post that she plays with lightsabers, and that's where everyone's getting the whole Ahsoka thing. But she's too old to play a teenage Ahsoka, and she is too old to play a younger Ahsoka, the one that we know in The Mandalorian, because Rosario is still pretty fine looking. She's not, So I was thinking that Moses plays an Inquisitor.
Ooh.
Or another surviving Jedi, because they're trying to build out this universe of survivors, because the Luke show, right? And the Luke show needs students. I immediately go to Kandra from Star Wars Uprising, and Vantala or Valanta, Kira Valanta from. Help me out, Jocko. Kira Valanta.
Kira Valanta. Sorry, it's not ringing a bell.
You guys are the experts, so I'm just blanking.
Star Wars Uprising is Kandra. Star Wars. I don't know. There are two female Jedi survivors that are on the list of surviving Jedi. Brian with the beard coming in the clutch with the $5. That is another 24 ramen packs. I am rolling in ramen. I shall share it with the panel. We all should have some ramen one day.
Nice.
Actually, I'll collect these ramen donations, and we will, as soon as we are all vaccinated, we will go down to Little Tokyo and grab ourselves some level 1 special Orochon ramen.
We'll just ball it hard.
If you guys can handle the heat.
Oh, come on. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah? Spicy
Oh, yeah.
ramen challenge live
yeah.
on Dyad via phone. We're just gonna have a phone. How do you handle spice, Harith?
I can handle spice to an extent. Well, my webcam's lagging.
Well, okay. I mean, we'll start you off with that 7.
That's 7.
7 or 6, because that should be fine. That's like early childhood mild.
No, I go to restaurant. Oh man, and actually, sometimes I get offended because like I'll go into like a restaurant and like they'll bring everyone chopsticks except for me.
Wow.
or I'll go to like a Thai restaurant and then order, my level. I usually go for if it's 1 to 5, I usually go 5, and if it's 1 to 10, I usually go 9. And so sometimes they'll be like, no, like, yeah, please. So I'm like, no. Okay, whatever.
Do the numbers go up for your restaurant? Have you been to Little Tokyo?
I've not been to Little Tokyo, but yeah, in these restaurants, it goes from 1 to 5 or from 1 to 10, and so.
Yeah, Orochon is. I think they have it goes from 7 to 1. 1 being the spiciest normal one, and then they have special number 1 and special number 2.
Let's do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's see. Star Wars fan. Hey guys, I'm going to jump out. This was fun. Have to go check on my channel. This is the way, the only way. Thank you for tuning in, Star Wars fanatic. May the Force be with you. X-Core Gamer Skills, what's up? Welcome to the show. Is a Luke show happening? Rumored so far, but I don't think it hasn't been confirmed.
Only Sebastian Stan hint, so that's it.
Yeah, the only way I'd play Luke is if Mark Hamill himself gives the okay, and then Mark Hamill was like, "I don't have that kind of power." Also, is Mark Hamill in Invincible?
Wouldn't be surprised. It's Mark Hamill.
I heard his voice.
Yeah, I don't know.
He was the costume guy.
Oh yeah, the old man that makes the costumes.
Yeah,
I that for sure. Yeah,
I think that's him. That's definitely him. Also,
if you're in for a good time, but not a good time with superheroes, you can watch Invincible.
Absolutely, Invincible on Amazon Prime.
I feel so bad I haven't watched it because I'm such a Robert Kirkman fanboy.
You gotta, man. You gotta.
I know.
Not even a fanboy. I'm just saying, like, so just full disclosure, guys, Invincible is heavy. It's gonna start off as if you're watching like Avatar: The Last Airbender, but then you're gonna leave thinking you should have hugged your mom in the morning.
I'm not shocked. It's Robert Kirkman. He
Yeah,
writes his stories
so-
hard.
That sounds about right.
Brandon says ramen giveaway when you hit 15k subs. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'll get a pack of 24, funded strictly by Brian with the beard,
Nice.
and I'll give it away. In order to enter, you must also donate. I'm just kidding.
Brian be like, not again.
Brian's like, y'all are bugging with this super hot food. My palate is too delicate. Brian, please don't ever say your palate is too delicate ever again. That sentence does not exist in the lexicon of English.
Oh, Star Wars Lawyer, yes. Creator meetup at Star Wars Celebration 2022. That is happening.
I think that's happening in August, right? Around the time of my birthday.
We're literally gonna take over Galaxy's Edge Celebration.
And I think, given how much rapport we got with, Lucasfilm right now in the story group, we're gonna interview Claudia, Justina, Kevin.
We're for sure gonna try.
Yes, and we're gonna have a panel there. I'm just kidding. It's not confirmed.
We're not that cool.
That's the goal. That's the goal, is to have a panel there, and have it on one of those like easel signage for Celebration. Dyad in the Force, Hall something, right? And everybody recognizes us for being Star Wars fans that love Star Wars. Ace Bronx, Ayo, I supported the ramen too. Absolutely, Ace Bronx. You can see on the screen Ace Bronx with the 279, and then Brian with the beard with the 499. Funding my ramen journey, or funding my sustenance, I guess, with ramen. Are there even tickets? Saka asks. I don't think so. Do we know when the tickets are dropping for that?
No, we don't know. But last time the tickets dropped around spring. So and we're talking for 2022, right? So it probably won't drop for another year.
Do you know if that stuff like sells out quickly?
Yes.
Yes.
We
gotta like be on that site.
Yeah.
So
I might even hold a live
live.
stream.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
reach
that'll
out
totally
to some contacts and see what I can do.
Please, if you can secure the Dyad at least. No, I'm just kidding.
The Dyad.
I do have. It does not sell out as fast as Comic-Con.
Well, that's good.
But I do have an end with those people, and there are some crossover as far as these type of events. So I don't know. We'll see what we can do. But yes, Mark Hamill is in Invincible. The character Art Rosenbaum is the costume designer. That is Mark Hamill.
I'm starting to recognize his voice.
Same.
He was very obvious to me in Avatar.
Yeah. He's Ozai, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then also, I mean, it feels pretty obvious that Joel Edgerton and what's her face are just Owen and Baru.
Brienne PC?
Yeah, they're 100% bro. We're not calling them. Because weren't they in Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith? In the prequels?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, Kumail Nanjiani is who I'm excited about because I love that guy. I love his comedy.
Let's put this picture up first. Kumail Nanjiani. All right, go for it, Chaco.
He is hilarious. I don't know if you watched, what was the lawyer show that he was on with Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. Anyway, he was hilarious in that. He was one of the best parts of Mass Effect Andromeda. If you did play that game and didn't hate it immediately, but
I played that game, but I hated it immediately.
Yeah.
Now, because of his like voice work, it makes me think he might be playing some sort of type of alien. But considering his recent body work, they better not put this man in.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
he's definitely not the comic relief. Or he might be the
He's-
comic relief in like the bounty hunter squad.
Yeah, that's what I was leaning kind of towards because he is going to be in the Eternals, and he got ripped for that role. It's weird.
Yes.
It's weird to look at because I'm used to him just being like a kind of schlubby.
Oh yeah, I forgot about he did get ripped for
Silicon
the
Valley?
Eternals.
When he was in Silicon Valley? Oh, yeah. Chris.
Yeah, Silicon Valley and
Chris with the
other
Franklin and
movie.
Bash.
Yes, Franklin and Bash. Yeah, he was dang it, I can't remember his name. I want to say Gunther, but that's not it.
Kumar? Is that racist?
Yes.
Possibly.
Do we have any like legitimate guesses as to his character, like specifics? No?
I also want him to be a robot.
I was guessing like a K2SO type, like that's what that was like when I was looking at it. I was thinking not like your traditional droid where it's like I'm a translator or I'm an astromech, but like I was thinking more of your like Empire K2SO type.
Yeah.
That was my when looking at it. That was my first thought.
The thing about this picture is that, it doesn't say like, obviously it doesn't say who they're playing, but it also doesn't say whether it's a voice.
Exactly.
And Kumail could very well be showing his ripped abs and stuff, or he could be just a voice of a droid.
And if you haven't seen The Big Sick, highly recommend it. It's a beautiful story.
Yeah. Yes, he was great in Silicon Valley, Brian.
Indar, that's what it was.
Bindar. I'm hoping Sun Kang is part of a Star Wars Fast and Furious crossover that we've all wanted for years. Is it 2 Obi, 2 Wan? Or is it 2 Wan, 2 Kenobi?
Listen, I love pod racing so much, and also that opening scene in Solo where he has like the Ford Falcon. By the way, the fact that they modeled his little speeder after a 1977 Ford Falcon is like just inspired. But yeah, we could totally have some type of underground street racing like thing inside of Star Wars, and it would be incredible.
Pod racing still lives on Tatooine.
Wonder if you know, going into Tashi Station.
It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or
Or a
mile.
parsec.
Or a parsec.
Parsec.
Winning is winning. I don't have friends, I have family. Moving on to Indira Varma. Are there any guesses as to what she can be playing? I said Seventh Sister. I think she looks like a Seventh Sister. If you put the helmet onto her, she's got the facial structure.
I'm thinking Inquisitor as well. That's my like. Just looking at it, that's 100% an Inquisitor. Like I'm going all in on that one.
Yeah.
It's definitely, she definitely has Imperial vibes to me. I mean, like either Inquisitor or I could see her hair back in the little cap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is the Seventh Sister bald? Like Asajj?
She wears a hat. No, but I meant like a Imperial like agent.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know what? I mean, hypothetically, a lot of these actors could play Imperial officers. But I think the Seventh Sister, I think we're gonna get, especially to kind of drive home this whole, in hiding type of narrative with Obi-Wan. The hunters or the Inquisitors should have a big role in kind of creating this hostile environment for Obi-Wan to kind of come to the conclusion that he can't be out there. His existence cannot be known.
But here's the tricky thing. He cannot be discovered on Tatooine, or they would have to die before giving that information out. Because Vader doesn't know where he is on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're going to have a rematch.
I
Do,
assume it has to be off-world.
do we know if that's literally what she meant?
She said rematch. She said rematch of the century. I don't know what that means, but I'm excited to find out.
Plot twist is just a force vision.
Yeah. Alex says, I bet Safdie is a droid. We'll get there, but I can see that. He's got the face for it. I mean, I'm no hate.
Mean. He's got a face for radio, huh?
Yes. Obi-Han Kenobi. We better see Kenobi dancing like Zemo in the cantina. Listen, when I saw that, I immediately thought of Bully Maguire.
Same.
Did you not see that, Chaco?
I didn't know.
I mean, I just had horrible flashbacks.
Brandon probably just wiped it from his mind. He got the mission or the Men in Black mind wiper after he watched Veteran 3.
Well, it reminds me of lots of friends of mine. Back in my old club days.
Slobby Sanchez? There's a deep cut, I'm sorry. Rupert Friend. I say Grand Inquisitor. What do you guys say?
Same. He just looks like him. To me.
But you can't replace Jason Isaacs, though.
You can. Ashley
I know,
Eckstein
but-
was replaced.
I know, but it's Jason Isaacs, though.
But I don't think Jason Isaacs could play the Grand Inquisitor. He's too old, I think. I don't know.
True.
I'm
His
not
voice
ready
is
to
too
make that
perfect.
like pronouncement. But I was looking at Rupert Friend in Hitman, bald. And I was just imagining how, he would make that pow and transition. And he looks like him. I wish I had a prepared Photoshop of that, but let me show the chat. Rupert Friend, second row, last column, just screams Grand Inquisitor. Are there any other guesses though? If not a Grand Inquisitor, of course he looks like an Imperial officer as well, an ISB officer.
Bounty hunter, possibly? I see that like that rough and tumble. He finds that Obi-Wan's a Jedi the last second. Obi-Wan has to kill him type vibes.
And then also, I mean, it's always good to remember everyone has range still, so they can still mix it up. But that's the image I'm seeing shining through.
Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Possibly.
O'Shea Jackson Jr. The first time, listen, when I saw him on this sheet, I immediately thought of Gar. I don't know why. There could be other black people in Star Wars, but I thought of Gar because he's got that he's got that facial hair and he's got that he just looks like Gar in the comic. But I know that Gar is a lot older than O'Shea is.
Yeah.
So who could he possibly play?
So honestly, I see him as a barkeep.
That minimal?
No. I don't believe barkeep is minimal. I believe that the barkeep is Obi-Wan's sole source of information in and off world, who's coming into the settlement, who's leaving it. I think that could be a really big role. It also could give us insight into how their settlement works, what type of gangsters or things might be coming around here. But like I see him being able to play both tough but having like a warm golden smile, having a little bit of like that smoothness where it's like don't cross me. But I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. That's what pops in my head.
No, I like that idea a lot. I mean,
Now that you mentioned it, I can't unsee it.
yeah. And it is a reality that a lot of this is going to take place on Tatooine, and it's going to be difficult not having actors playing characters on Tatooine.
Exactly.
I just feel really horrible. Like, ascribing O'Shea Jackson to like the only other black character I know of consequence in this timeline. But it would be cool to see Jocasta Nu, that, you know, that part of the Vader comic where she's kind of trying to back up her archives and stuff like that. I don't know, but Barkeep in what, Mos Eisley, you're thinking?
What was the
Most Espa? Wait, where?
what was the other Moss that they described in Mando season 2? Was Moss Eisley, and there was other two I'm blanking on.
In Mandalorian,
Mos Eisley,
right?
there's Most Espa, and then there was the other one that was kind of the other side of the place that became Freetown later on in the timeline.
That's going to escape me, and it's probably going to bother me for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but those are, you know, the major cities, major settlements. There could also be smaller pockets.
Guys, I'm going to go now. It's nearly 1 a.m. and I keep falling asleep. It was fun, and may the force be with you. May the force be with you, Sokka. 1 a.m. Where do you live?
Yeah, Sokka, you have a good one. 1 a.m. sounds like UK time. So
It does. Maybe it's New Zealand? No.
cheers. Say cheers.
Yeah, it's UK time because I just did the math.
Also, I
It's-
totally forgot this was a full accent episode. Oh, well.
I did not, and I was happy when you did.
Well, there's no time like the present. So, may the force be with you, Sokka. And thank you for tuning in. Brian with the beard, welcome to BBC Radio 1. I feel like we need to see Padme's family make another appearance at some point in something. Do you think
Could
that...
we see? Sorry, go ahead.
Go for it.
We're probably going to say the same thing, but do you think we can see the Amidalians?
We were going to say that. Are we going to see anything from Queen's Peril or like Padme in this show as like a flashback, or anything from like the Queen's Shadow, Queen's Peril, and what was the question again? Well, Padme's family. That's what I was answering.
Last we saw them, I'm not going off canonically, I'm just going off for like in general movies and shows wise, was the Attack of the Clones 3 deleted scenes where Anakin was at Padme's little like house that she grew up in.
Yeah, the summer what's it called?
Is that canon? I don't know. Has it ever been referenced in anything else in other medias?
What is it usually called? That's a summer house.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm sorry.
It starts with a CH.
It's the Naboo cabin. I don't know. It's a Naboo version of a cabin.
The summer. This is going to kill me.
We're gonna kill Element today. Sorry.
Yeah,
Some more content.
yeah. Sorry. No, I don't. I really don't think so. At least I hope that the show stays more centered on Obi-Wan and his journey through all this and his interpretation of what's happening. Obviously, he knows about Padme, but the extent, I believe he kept willful ignorance was his goal. And so if we're going to frame this in the term of flashbacks, I think we'll be very limited into what we can see, because the flashbacks will likely be limited to what Obi-Wan remembers.
Speaking of Amidala's, I have to bring this up for flashback purposes. Do you think there's a possibility we'll get Natalie Portman as in some type of flashback? Just maybe like Obi-Wan going to her and being like, kind of like he did with Anakin in season 6, being like, "Sup, I know." Before, wait, no, you can't do that before Revenge of the Sith. Never mind. Maybe like something around those lines, being like a little like subtle hint, being like, "How's Anakin?"
I would love to get one of those with Keira Knightley.
Ooh.
That would blow my mind, but yeah, that's a different story.
This thing is killing me. I'm sorry.
Because we know Sabe spent a lot of time on Tatooine as well.
Yeah.
Help me out in the chat, guys. The word for a summer cottage that starts with a CH.
Chamber.
It is their. Oh my gosh.
You're gonna think of it like right after the podcast ends. You're gonna be like, "Oh, it's that."
Hopefully not. I am going through thesaurus.com right now, but I'm not landing on it. It's on the tip of my tongue, and I'm pretty sure it's on the tip of yours as well.
It's for personally, I got
nothing. Chateau. Thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Brian coming in clutch.
Brian gets golden stars.
I thought you were gonna offer him ramen.
You're gonna offer him the trip to Tokyo as well. Like,
yeah.
Ramen. Hey. He's funding this.
Yeah, I'd trip with Brian in Little Tokyo.
Okay, so moving on to Sung Kang. What do we got for Sung Kang? Anything? I have Embo, but that's it.
Tatooine Bar Citizen number 3. I don't know.
Tatooine Bar Citizen?
Yeah.
The citizen of the bar?
Yeah. That was just maybe like a recurring character that Obi-Wan comes across. Because we're going off the whole like Obi-Wan going into Mos Eisley or Mos Kalba for information. So maybe he's just like a bar, like frequent bartender, right? Bar type character.
Yeah. So I mean, I have him as. I have him as a bounty hunter as well, or a droid.
He just looks like it. I'm sorry to give him like the only other Asian sounding name. This is what we do in Star Wars.
We stereotype.
I mean, it's not untrue.
He's certainly not the stable person. Or I hate to take away roles from him, but like I don't know. Bounty hunter.
The rough and tumble type.
Sung Kang, I think, is Embo. I think this show is going to serve as a vehicle for a lot of the Shadow Collective to kind of come out of the woodwork and kind of be a backdoor pilot for a bounty hunters show as well. What do you think?
I can see that, but we are getting that though. Bounty hunters in Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it possible that we can get some? I know it's what 27 years after. No, wait, 37 years. Because I always forget about this. Because Book of Boba was a long ways away.
Yeah, it's still a long ways away. But I just mean having two projects, even though they're in different time periods, at the same time. I don't know.
So you think Book of Boba Fett is our premiere like bounty hunter show? Everything's gonna be bounty hunter. There's no room for like an actual bounty hunters show.
No, there's room for it. I mean, maybe sometime in the future. I don't think it's the backdoor pilot just yet, but I don't know. We'll see. I could very well be wrong.
Okay. And then now we are moving on to Simone Kessel, and I think we have Chaco's.
Yep. She's plug eye. I'm saying that Simone Kessel is plug eye. She is a badass Tusken Raider warrior. Ooh. And no one to trifle with. Part of the big thing that Obi-Wan is doing is trying to protect them and their settlement, and like so Obi-Wan comes in and saves them from Plug Eye at some point in time, but of course Uncle Owen is still pissed off because he doesn't want him there at all. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think she's Plug Eye.
I like that. Originally I had her as like a rebel officer.
I can see that too.
Yeah. But I do like Plug Eye just because it kind of has precedence in being on Tatooine and giving a face to Tusken Raiders.
That'd
what's
be
up?
something.
What's up, Justin and Cal and Connor? Thank you for tuning in. I really hope they bring in element. They should bring me in. I'm sorry. That's not what you said. I really hope they bring in elements from the Kenobi Legends novel.
Yes.
I did not read that. So Chaco, what could they possibly bring into the show from the Legends novel?
I mean, they could bring in quite a bit. I mean, we'll need a replacement for Anna Lee. Is it Anna Lee the girl's name? But speaking of which, I was actually going to bring that up with the last character. So we can always
Save the legends.
We could move on if we want. I think we're good with Plug Eye being Simone Kessel, right? Do you think she has as potential to play the Kessel Run?
Oh yeah. She looks like she's like at least 15 parsecs. So if you can get past and anytime shorter,
Totally.
I don't know if that was misogynist or not.
I don't even know what it means.
I don't know. I was just going along with what he was saying. So,
all right, we are looking at what's his face. I can't see in my program monitor.
It's so small because I'm literally
Safdie.
looking at like a 14-inch laptop screen. So it's like I'm like holding it on like the right corner.
Benny Safdie.
Very softy.
Benny Softy. This sounds like I'm saying softy, like soft ice cream. Soft serve.
I mean, I'm certain I am butchering the pronunciation, but I just don't know any other way to say it.
Looks like we're getting canceled, guys, by the Star Wars actors.
Maybe.
But yeah, what do you guys think?
I think he's got, I said it earlier, he's got the face of a droid. That's all I'm gonna say. I really can't comment on what he could be playing. He could just be playing some throwaway cannon fodder guy, not cannon fodder, but some ancillary character on Tatooine. But if anything, he's playing a droid. That's what I think.
Ooh, I just thought of an interesting possibility. Let me like go with this. Okay, so we knew in Attack of the Clones, right? They had. Didn't they have helping hands up with the Tatooine like moisture farm? What if let me go with this? he's like helping on Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen's like moisture farm. Luke runs off. He chases after him. Obi-Wan saves him, but he dies in the process, causing Uncle Owen to get even more pissed at Obi-Wan. So if we're going the cannon fodder angle, why not go all the way in and make it a driving force that drives the wedge between Owen and Obi-Wan?
Interesting. Of course, if we go the droid angle, they don't have a lot of protocol droids there, do they?
They don't.
No, they don't. However, it's entirely possible that they had something prior to C-3PO that broke down and needed to be replaced. Something that spoke the language of the moisture evaporators. But my thought is a replacement for a Legends character. The character in the Kenobi novel is named Orin, or Orin Galt. And
Okay.
Orin was essentially the antagonist. So I'm gonna spoil the book for everyone.
Oh
So
no, not the 20-year-old. Wait, how old is it? 10-year-old Legends book?
I think
20?
it's 2012 is the
Oh
Kenobi novel.
no,
9 years.
spoilers for a 9-year-old novel that's not technically canon anymore.
Well, to clear up, never was canon. It's 2014. But so Orin is part of the settlement, and they're getting hit on all sides, right? Because there's gangsters from Java's place that wants to tax them and what they're doing, and there's Tusken Raiders, and he like hates the Tuskens as well. Like he ends up trying to go to war with the Tuskens. There's a whole battle and stuff that ensues, but he serves as the primary antagonist to the book because he's the one that is essentially causing all this trouble to come to the local settlement.
I see.
Oh.
Long story short, at the end of the book, oh my goodness, the ending is so great because he sustains like a lot of damage in a big battle.
Alright.
And when he wakes up, he's like having trouble seeing and he realizes that there are like goggles over his face and like one of his feet is missing and it was replaced. Basically, the Tusken saved his life by making him a Tusken Raider. and he has this like realization that he is trapped as a Tusken when he hates them more than anything. And it's like a really interesting portion of the story. But overall I can see him as being someone that is antagonistic because we can't really have Owen and Aunt Beru be the antagonists of the story.
And it
Just
also
another
fits with-
Phantom Menace.
Damn. I was say it also fits with your theory of Sime being the lead Tusken Raiders because they're kind of grouped together. If you look at the casting listing, they are right next to each other,
What
like
if they're-
how Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru are. So there's a linking between characters in all the castings. If you pay close
Yeah.
attention to the order.
Yeah.
You think there's going to be multiple antagonists like the Tusken Raiders and then the Imperials and the Inquisitors?
Multiple factions at play. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Vanessa, welcome to the show. Have you seen any of the Safdie brothers movies? I have not. I don't know about anyone else. Have you guys?
Vanessa,
Nope.
we're not as cultured as you.
Right.
Someday.
Let's see here. Justin says, have we talked about the Tatooine has pod racing in episode 1, but not in A New Hope? Mayhaps we'll see why. I don't
think
know.
we briefly joked about it during the Fast and Furious part.
But I also think the one in the episode in the Phantom Menace was a huge event, right? That was what is it called? A classic or like a NASCAR type of situation.
Maybe it jumps around from planet to planet.
I mean, it's a big event, but we also have to remember that this is nowhere near the same location. They're not close to they're not close to each other. It actually took Anakin a while to make it out to the Lars farm after he had gone back into the primary city in order to find Watto to find out what happened. So I think it could very well just be that it's too far away for it.
It's a nice part of Tatooine.
Yeah. What if we see a younger Cobb Vanth? I don't know, man. I think I have a hard limit on crossovers on shows that have no business crossing over, right? Because this isn't Mandalorian timeline. Like we have a literal kind of quadology of shows. I believe Ahsoka, Book of, Mando, and Rangers of the New Republic.
Yeah, you kind of have like organized into like groups where it's like Andor, Kenobi, Lando season 3, Book of Boba, Ahsoka. They're all kind of like linked together by era. except for Acolyte. Acolyte is just special by itself.
Yeah.
Everything else is like linked by the era.
Well, Acolyte is linked to the High Republic.
True, but I meant like, you know, about like Disney Plus shows. They're all kind of weirdly linked except for Acolyte.
I think Chaco might know who she is, and who is? You told me to check your previous comment. I'm just reading it.
Yeah, and sorry, Connor, I didn't call it out because we were in the middle of something. But there is someone else apparently who's talking about this. I do not know who they are. I haven't seen anyone else talk about it, but I will check them out.
I know a lot of people are making jokes about, especially Julia, if she's in this chat, about Satine and the possibility of that happening in Kenobi. Do we have any like any character here would possibly be a live action Satine? Because I honestly think they could just get the voice actor to just do it because she looks so close to Satine.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I saw a rumor that she was supposed to be on it,
But she's not part of this cast list.
She's not.
which
This is interesting.
which is okay. It does not necessarily mean that these are the only these
They
are
need
the
to have
only
their-
12 people in
they
the
need-
show.
They need to have their
Uh,
surprise cameos.
Well, but what I mean is, if they do someone that is in a flashback, right, that means that they're not going to be a regular part of the cast, meaning they wouldn't get top billing, which means they probably wouldn't show up on this list.
Yeah.
These lists are normally determined by top billing. Normally, not always though.
Welcome to the show, Funny Science Fiction Podcast. I'm okay with no more pod racing, but come on, Chaco. Uncle Owen might be a tough guy in his younger years. I mean, there are worse stories. Yeah. We could, I mean, Uncle Owen can definitely be an antagonist.
Drunk Uncle Owen predictions? Okay.
Dropping off scrapper parts and being like, no! No!
Jedi are evil.
Stay away from him! And Obi-Wan's like, you're the chosen one!
But I do agree with you. And if that's Funny Science Fiction Podcast, I believe that's Tim. I agree with you. But what I'm trying to say is that I think there's going to be someone else who is bringing the danger close by. Because we do know Obi-Wan has an antagonistic relationship with Uncle Owen. Uncle Owen does not like him, does not want him there, does not want Luke to fall down the same path as his father. But if there is someone else that is causing these interactions, someone else who is antagonizing the Sand People, which is bringing them closer in for attacks and things like that, I believe that is who the actual antagonist would be.
Yeah.
For the story.
Definitely.
Starkiller 55555555. What's up? What's up, guys? Just joined. How are y'all doing? We're doing well. Who's your favorite member of the Bad Batch? We are going to get to that right now because we have spent a long time on Obi-Wan Kenobi. And we're already running out of time. I guess this episode was about Obi-Wan Kenobi. We will spend a good 20 minutes straight right now wrapping up this show on the Bad Batch. Now, if you have not seen the Bad Batch trailer, the latest trailer, please go watch that now and come back as we discuss this. Chaco, get the conversation started on the Bad Batch. What's going on in this trailer?
Man, okay, I am super excited for Bad Batch. It's a project I never thought I would want to see, and I wasn't interested in it when I was seeing it in season 7. But these trailers have gotten me more and more hype. Just the possibility of this being more like a heist crew, them establishing that these guys could take out an army with their level of skill. The introduction of Omega. And trying to figure out what Omega's deal is. There's a lot of intrigue here, and I'm super excited. I'm curious about Harith. Like what jumped out at you when you were watching the trailer?
I gotta go with the obvious. Seeing Captain Rex for that like couple of seconds got me so hyped. And I was like, they're not gonna do Rex sneaking over and taking the chips out of Gregor and all the clone's head. And I was like, and then people started doing TikToks about Rex versus Cody, and I'm like, oh my god, it's good, probably gonna happen, and I'm scared.
You know what? It makes sense that Rex is the one to do it, though, right? Because I've been getting this question a lot ever since season 7. What about Wolf and Gregor? I was like, well, I don't know. So now we get to see if Rex goes back for them, or if the Bad Batch does it. But essentially, Rex is there for a purpose. And now I can answer that question. Who's your favorite member of the Bad Batch? Mine is Crosshair. And I have a problem with a lot of people saying that he's going to betray the Bad Batch, but we'll get to that.
I'm a tech guy myself.
You are.
I'm a generic
But who is your
Echo
favorite
guy.
member?
But yeah, I again, I can't wait to see. Do I think Crosshair is going to betray the team? He will not do it willingly. That's what I can tell you. But I feel like one thing about Captain Rex, I feel like most of that was happening on Zygeria. We saw like the Bazaar, we saw the Zygerian with the slave whip. We see Captain Rex, who spent time there undercover, so he probably knows it. This place was out of the reach of the Republic largely, and therefore has some distance from the Empire. So I could also see Saul Guerrera setting up shop there, at least, or at least having operatives there. And so I think that's where they go, and they hook up with Rex. Rex has A, spent time in Zygeria, and then B, no Saw Gerrera. And the reason that they are getting hooked up is because, they're gonna need Saw is obviously gonna want to fight back. Which is also gonna be fascinating because this is the beginning of Saw's fight against the Empire. So far, he's just been kind of fighting, right? But Onderon became part of the Republic, so he didn't have anything to fight against for a while. He was probably just stewing in his anger over his sister. This is going to be his first battle against the Empire, which I think might be really interesting. But on top of that, I think Saw Gerrera is also going to be the one to turn them on to Fennec Shand as a replacement, temporary replacement on their team for Crosshair, who's been captured.
Why you gotta do that, man? Why do you have to make sense like
Vader
that?
pulls a Lando against Crosshair. He's just like, sup, if you don't compel with the Empire, I'm just going to kill the entire Bad Batch.
Now, I like another person's prediction is that Crosshair actually is the one that trained Fennec.
That'd be a good Mando tie-in.
But Harith, is Rex coming back? Was that the one thing that made you message me and saying, I'll be on Dyad. Can we talk about Bad Batch? I want to talk about the Bad Batch.
Definitely. Also Fennec Shand and Saw Gerrera for sure. Those three characters, I was like, oh, Bad Batch is going to get real.
But I do want to address this, though, because Crosshair doesn't... I don't know, his disposition, of course, is very, cold. But every team has someone that's cold. That doesn't mean that they're going to betray them. He's seen in the trailer actually fighting by himself against the Empire. And he's not in the scene, not in a lot of scenes with the other Bad Batch because he's the sniper. He's in position somewhere else.
Plot twist, it's Wrecker. We're all guessing the wrong character.
It's somebody. I mean, didn't people guess that the unidentified trooper in the first trailer was Cody?
So again, we don't know. There's a brief scene in the first trailer that is Crosshair throwing a platter at some other troopers in the lunchroom. And so the reason I'm kind of hammering down on this is to me, the storyline. And by the way, I'm calling this as the storyline for the first episode.
Ooh.
Just episode 1 to set up what is going to be happening in the future. So when I say Fennec is a temporary replacement, it might just be for the first episode, and you may have run-ins here and there in the future. But I'm seeing that, Tarkin, they bring all of the clones back because the Clone Wars are over. Start to introduce a new protocol. Retest everyone to see what their aptitudes are, to find out what they'd be best at under the Empire. They test like out the wazoo, but you can't control them.
Definitely.
Then they start getting in fights and all this stuff. And then the last straw is Crosshair's fight in the cafeteria where he's throwing platters and stuff at other people. I think he gets locked up. And he gets taken away for either decommissioning or reconditioning. And so that's where I think the episode really kicks off, because Hunter probably doesn't want to do anything, but he sees a brother in trouble and now he has to. And Crosshair has kind of like some contempt for the regular clones, the normies,
Regs.
Yeah. So
Rigs.
I can see them taking him. They don't know where he's taking him, which brings me to Omega. Omega, has some special ability, and I am going to go out on a limb and say that that Omega's ability has to do with sharing or connecting with clones. Can connect to other clones or things like that.
A psionic uplink.
Something like that. Something like that. Because obviously this character is not in anything else. So we kind of need to see there has to be something special about this character. And that would explain why this character already knew everyone in the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
And this could be how they find out more information about what happened to Crosshair. And that's why and at the end, they're like, you are non-standard. They're going to see you like a threat, especially once we leave. Do you want to come with us? Anyways, I've been talking too much. You guys, what do you guys
We
think
have your official prediction.
My prediction, get ready for it, guys. It's going to be out of show. They're Reclaimers and Mary Sue. That's my prediction.
There's what?
The Toxic Channels are Reclaimers and Mary Sue. That's my prediction. Omega, I'm locking it in now. Geeks and Gamers will make a couple posts on them. Mike Zero find a way to tie her in. Trust me. Lock it in.
I already had a comment saying, I think Omega is a girl and she's only there to push the leftist agenda.
I am not surprised anymore.
That's a legitimate comment that I received that I saved so I can make a reply to, and I haven't had the heart to because it hurts. It hurts. I can hardly read it without having a seizure.
I mean, of course, right? Because it's not alpha and beta, it's omega, so it's got to be feminist.
What is the agenda? Women exist?
I'm just yes, that is.
I just want to know. I always see like, oh, you guys are bringing politics into it, but whenever people say that, it's just people existing.
Yeah,
just people being alive in the universe.
The idea of idpol pisses me off. Like really? Did we just politicize people existing? But in any case, so you have your episode 1 prediction that's going to be completely wrong, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna be as right as those WandaVision theories.
Yeah, exactly. Mephisto is in the Bad Batch. He's hiding inside the jewel of Omega's forehead.
The thing I love though about WandaVision is since everything was being made up by her mind, it really could have been anything.
It could have
been any possibility.
Definitely.
And so while the theories were wild, they weren't out of hand, But now when you look back on it, you're like, oh God.
Tim says, I love you guys' ability to deep think all this stuff. I'm over here just geeking out on the wars. And just like, give me more. Come to you guys for this kind of talk. Well, thank you very much, Tim. I mean, I think everybody does some deep thinking on their own. Just, they don't realize it.
Also, Tim, we need to have you on here as well.
Absolutely.
Had a blast talking to you before, and yeah, we'll all wear our red shirts and talk.
So my prediction, because we saw in the second trailer that they released this week that Crosshair's fighting alone, and he's not in a lot of the shots with the other Bad Batch. People are interpreting that to be that he is not with them, he is betraying them, or he has unwillingly been has been captured. I think that is a misdirect. I think if we look at the troopers that surround Tarkin, especially when Tarkin is like, I want Clone Force 99 found. None of them is like that unidentified trooper with the crosshair rifle that people are guessing.
Right.
And how do we know
What
that unidentified trooper is Team Empire?
Also, what if Crosshair just pretends that would, like, let's say he does get taken for reconditioning, but as a non-standard clone it doesn't work. What if he pretends, and like that's a whole misdirect thing.
I can see it.
I think there could be a lot of fun ways to play around with it, but ultimately, if the previous trailers, especially for like Mandalorian season 2, if they rang true, we're only getting trailers for the first 1, 2, maybe 3 episodes.
Definitely. That's just all Disney Plus trailers, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wasn't Godzilla vs. Kong's trailer largely the first 20 minutes?
Yeah, it was the beginning portion of it, which is, it's a smart move when the thing is a known quantity, right? You don't have to sell people on it, at least not nearly the same way.
California says, what is everyone's prediction on how the Bad Batch goes out? We don't ever see them going forward or hear anything about them. So it's safe to assume that the worst. Could they retire like Rex, Wolf, and Gregor?
I honestly think they're too powerful. I think if it was like any type of regular clones, I'd be like, oh yeah, they could easily just lie down somewhere and just enjoy a peaceful life. But come on, Tarkin said they're stronger than an army. Their empire is gonna overlook the Bad Batch. I feel like it's not gonna happen this season. I feel like it's gonna have like a Rebels type season finale. Spoiler for season 1, even though it's nearly 7 years old.
Do you think it's seasons, or do you think this is a limited series?
I think it's gonna be seasons.
I think it's gonna be a limited series, but
Ooh.
I like it. Or maybe it is seasons, and maybe this might be too on the nose, but maybe we see the creation of Task Force 99.
I'm actually in the same boat with Justin, who says they go out on a suicide mission that Saw sends them on. So if they do decide to ally with the partisans and Saw, I think that's their end game right there.
I honestly think if the Bad Batch are going to go out, they're going to be killed by Vader. I think that's how it's going to end, because they gotta hype up Vader as the be all end all in this era.
Man, Vader's hyped up enough.
I just don't want everything to end with Vader slaughtering everyone.
Exactly.
Like it's cool, I guess.
We don't want to see another flashback of Order 66 of him killing Padawans ruthlessly in the temple.
Okay, Star Wars theory.
Yeah, but Dave Filoni OCs don't die. That is true. I think, I don't know. It's hard for me to actually speculate how they go out.
Try to picture Wrecker like doing anything else. Like he's like a space barista, like trying to serve up calf. It just doesn't work. I mean,
Wrecker is meant to be picked up by the Force and used as a weapon.
Cal says, I too suspect a Rogue One style ending. You know what? The more and more I think about it, I think I agree. It is a limited series for that reason, and like moving forward, we don't know about Task Force. We don't know about the Bad Batch, because during a mission for Saw, everyone died, and Rex, Wolf, and Gregor were the only ones to survive, and they retired.
If anyone takes them out, I'm gonna need it to be like the second or third edition of Dark Troopers.
It makes sense. Or Moff Gideon with a dark saber. Have that connection.
Wait,
Remember
I'm trying to like match
the
up the
first
timeline.
portion. So there was the droids that they were fighting during the testing, right? Which was similar to the Dark Trooper design. But we do know that, well, sorry, in Legends, they started taking troopers and kind of like mutilating them and putting them with robotic parts. That's where the original Dark Troopers came from. And as they hit different iterations, they replace more and more of them. By the time we get to the Mandalorian, those are fully robotic.
Right.
And that's what he says in the show. They removed the human element. Just like Iron Man 2. Their own better.
Wow.
But
Dun,
yeah,
dun.
hopefully we'll.
What's
maybe
up,
that's what
Carter?
take 'em out.
What's up, Carter? Thank you for tuning in to our final segment. We're just about to wrap up here shortly. Justin says, I just want more reasons to not like Saw. The Borg gullet is reason enough.
That scene will never die.
I'm pretty sure that Brian ate the Borg gullet earlier today for lunch in a salad. No
Ooh,
less.
Cal says maybe they discovered the Inquisitors. Now that's something that we had not
Ooh.
talked about. Like of course they're Jedi hunters, right? But like, can the Bad Batch handle themselves against Inquisitors?
No.
I think they can handle themselves maybe against like the lower ranking Inquisitors, but if they encounter the Grand Inquisitor, they're done.
That would be an awesome, turnabout though, of like,
Because we need more
Yeah.
Inquisitor hype. Because they were semi hyped up in Rebels, but like they weren't really shown to be like. Because in Ahsoka they don't really hype them up either. They're just kind of like slightly better than Padawans.
Yeah.
well, I mean, yeah, I would love to see, because you have clones that were supposed to be working with Jedi, and then the clones turn on the Jedi, and then these clones turn on the other clones, and then they fight Jedi that turned on the Jedi that served.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like it's just like a weird like double
Oh my
agent type thing.
gosh.
It's like it would be like the end of The Departed.
They see like Inquisitors and they're like, we refuse to follow these orders. And you're our friends. And then the Jedi's like, I'm actually an Inquisitor, bro, so I'm gonna kill you.
Space Saber.
Maybe Palps has some plans for Camino, and like the clones and Omega is the key to it. And Bad Batch gives their lives to make sure that that project does not succeed. I
Are
think
we
that
gonna see the
Omega,
Camino uprising?
I
Well,
knew
for
this
sure.
was coming.
for sure we will. And I also think Omega has something to do with Palpatine
Ooh,
and
you think
his,
Omega's
and his research into Strandcasts.
Ooh, you think Palpatine's in Omega was a plant done by Palpatine? Ooh.
I think it's one of his bodies.
Ooh. Palpatine's just like, let me just test this out a little bit. Okay, there.
But what reason do they have of using like a Greek numbering system?
Not really much.
Nothing other than Omega being the last letter.
Oh, sorry,
and
alphabet.
Omega being the final clone. Because
That's-
we also have to consider the fact that they have to use Jango's DNA
Mhm.
in order to make things. They can't make it from other clones, right? If you're
Exactly.
cloning a clone, it's just getting more and more diluted. And
They're
so I
stretching
could
it out.
see, yeah, I could see a situation where they're trying to stretch it out, and maybe the reason Omega is separate because they tried to splice something else in there as a filler. I don't know, but I can see Omega being the last, especially given the timeline, because we know that the last batch of fully formed clones became the first Purge Troopers.
Right.
But this is in that same timeline, and Omega is younger than them. So it could be the case that after Omega, no other, like they could do a batch of 10,000, 100,000, and Omega was the only viable living specimen, and so they stopped the program there. There's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Quick lightning round for the chat. Will the Bad Batch save Grogu? I don't think so.
I'm still on the Jocasta new theory. Like, I look at that Vader issue with a new type of context because of Grogu.
Yeah.
My theory is that we are not going to see Order 66 itself at all.
We don't
you
need
think
to
we're
see
just
it
gonna-
again. It's like
Yeah.
Brett Batman's parents. Stop it.
But it's an easy way to make an audience cry.
If I see Martha's pearls break, goddamn time, I'm gonna lose it.
How many writers in Hollywood do you think have written Clutched Pearls Snap?
Too many.
I don't know. I just don't ever want to see it again.
Robert Pattinson. We need a branded face cam for the Robert Pattinson Batman film, just in case that happens.
If lightsabers,
It's gonna be a lot like the Star Wars theory, except it's gonna be sadness and not whatever. No, but given what we see, I feel like the Bad Batch were probably not on a mission with Jedi when Order 66 happened.
They're probably just eating food.
Yeah, they're all getting shawarma or whatever, and then they get a call to go back to Kamino, and they're on Kamino when they see the announcement from Palpatine about reorganizing to a galactic empire. We see all the line of clones and stuff like that. And they probably, I mean, maybe they even hear from some of those other clones about them killing Jedi and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't think. One thing they do have to do here, because this is Star Wars, they have to understand that every Star Wars project is someone's first entry into Star Wars.
Right.
And so I think they are going to, this isn't Invincible. They're not going to start off with some gruesome scene. They'll explain stuff. They'll give you context, and then start the show.
Yeah, Invincible, man. That's a deep cut, but for different reasons. Let's see here. If lightsabers let people fly again, I'm out. Listen, Justin, we don't need that kind of negative energy.
Dave Filoni is just in the corner writing his we try to find ways to fit lightsaber flying scenes. It's like, okay, I need to get the Inquisitors and their lightsaber flying in this show somehow.
Carter asks, will we see Shakti die for a 10,000th time? I think so.
When you get, oh god, what was the character I was thinking of? There was a character we all joke about Shark T, the character that gets killed a lot. There's another character I was thinking of. Gregor gets killed a lot, just like Shark T. Gregor is the new Shark T. Come on, guys. Let's be honest here.
I just love how you're saying Shark Tea. It's like
Shark Tea.
Like a seafood beverage. I'd like some shark tea, please. Cal says Omega is a force sensitive clone and Palp wants them for study. That's what I think.
That's a great call.
Are we just adding to the Snoke theory that we're making? Zillo Beast, Omega, and Grogu.
I think so. I mean, listen, is that a regular energy bow, or is that an energy bow only force sensitives can use, like Night Sisters?
I don't know. I just want at some point the Inquisitor to take their lightsaber and go, I have to go. My people need me. And then, or hold it up. Same thing, but they say where we're going, we don't need roads.
Mace Windu would lose it.
Oh my gosh. The Book of Shakti announced at the end of that show. The Book of New.
Shakti, the drink of choosy clones. Choosy clones drink Shakti.
And it's just a 5-second shot of Anakin killing Shakti, and that's the show.
The biggest question is, will we see the fruition of the attempted cloning of the Zilla Beast?
It will never die.
I don't know. Was that a Zygerian beast? Because it's the first time I reacted to the trailer, I was like, Zilla Beast?
It didn't look like a Zilla Beast to me. I'm sorry. I love
Well,
how
I'm not
Alex brings up, as long as I don't have to watch Palp and Vader fight bugs for long periods of time. That's a deep cut to Lords of the Sith. It's a weird book.
But-
One of the royal guards there is a clone. So they're still around and kicking.
Oh, I did not know that.
We should get a show on Kicks and the Corsairs.
Kicks are for kids though.
Kix
So?
is just gonna be the character
So
that's
is
like,
Star
oh,
Wars.
Kix is just that character everyone's like, oh, did you know there was a clone that was in the sequel era? It's just like, it's like that deep cut character.
Don't
I
at me,
feel like.
bro. Boba would be your best bet if you had to get DNA from a clone. He's supposed to be a perfect normal clone. No, but he also is still an extension of the original telomeres or whatever. I don't know if they'd be able to get a sample of the original from a clone of the original.
You can't clone a clone.
Yeah.
I remixed a remix. It was back to normal.
Is Omega Django Unchained? That was a bad joke. Sorry. Carter says, has there been a Rebels episode of Dyad? I know there has been a High Ground episode. There has slightly. But we will definitely do one when Ahsoka drops, which is the Rebel sequel.
It's a hidden Rebel sequel.
But no, we have not. I don't think we have had a deep dive in Ahsoka yet, right? On Dyad?
No. I would, by the way, love to, when we do Rebels, perhaps get Emily, Stardust M, on it because she's watching it for the first time. It might be refreshing to have a new take on it.
Absolutely.
Maybe we can get Alex if he's caught up by that point.
Alex is months away.
Well, Ahsoka might be months away as well.
I do want to watch Thrawn and Vader fight bugs, though. Just saying, Cal says in response to Alex. This is gonna be tough. Who's Lucasfilm gonna listen to? Geek Theory. Welcome to the live. Sunshine Mayfield. Oh, is that the same as Alex? Did you just change your name?
Yes.
Needed new cloning DNA. Seems like such a 21st century problem. Like, once they have the sequence, they shouldn't need more material. Well, I mean, I'm not a cloning geneticist. I don't know what goes into actually cloning.
I feel like, I know it's not canon, but I feel like all the toxic fanboys when it comes to cloning quote Force Unleashed way too much.
I don't even know if I can quote that game.
Because there's a quote in Force Unleashed 2 where there's like, you can't clone a Jedi, and it's like, and everyone just quotes that forever when Palpatine was coming back. So I don't know. Everyone just acts like they know they're experts because they played Force Unleashed once.
Well, but in regards to that question, and I was also asked a question, probably by the same person, but no, not necessarily. It doesn't. They are very, very likely not creating the material. So having the sequence doesn't mean anything because they aren't creating the sequence. So they still have to start with genetic material, and there's millions of clones, so who knows? Maybe each clone represents one drop of what Django is. Still, at some point, they are going to run out.
Yep.
Yeah, they're running out by what? How long did the Camino arc because it was Domino Squad, right? Where they're talking about how they're running out of Django's DNA, and it was what year? Not even year 2, barely into year 1.
Yeah.
They're already struggling with that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, that was a whole thing on the Clone Wars already.
Cal asks, have we seen any other changelings like Zam Wessel?
Changelings.
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 I mean, that wasn't. I don't believe that was Zam in the season opener for season 2 of the Clone Wars, with the person that changed into the Jedi Master and then later into the librarian.
Right.
I don't believe that was him.
Yeah, I don't know. Am I gonna love
Could have been
Chopper?
Zam.
Alex, you're gonna love Chopper. You're gonna love at Rebels. You're gonna love everything.
That sociopath of a droid.
Omega is the three-eyed raven. Okay. Okay, Brian. Okay.
Oh my god.
Carter, it's soda. It's always been soda. All right.
Wait, the soda and pop debate's still going? I thought it ended a while ago.
It's soda. Justin says, also breaking down the science of Star Wars is, to quote Claudia Gray, there's fire in space. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's fantasy, not sci-fi.
Drop in Last Jedi. I'm kidding. Oh, sorry, I have to quote. I had to make that joke.
Um,
The thing that made me like, even as a child, because I've just always been a huge fan of science, but even as a little kid watching A New Hope, when they start the Death Star run, you're like, whoa, they're acting like planes. This should be Newtonian physics. That's weird.
why is that Death Star falling toward the surface of the Death Star? Or the Star Destroyer? Does the Death Star emit its own core gravity field? Is it a gravitational body?
Okay, the Death Star. I have to ask: are the layers? Is it layered, or is the outer shell the bottom layer, and you climb towards the center?
I don't know.
I've always wondered this because if you're on the very bottom, where's the gravity? I know they have gravity generators that they use on the ships and all this stuff.
Yeah, is it like
Is it at the bottom?
Is it constructed in a globe-like manner where when you're on the bottom, you're actually like your head's down or something? Are you talking about that? Like,
yeah. If
If
you're
it
on the
has-
bottom floor, where are you? I mean, is your feet on the bulkhead that leads to outer space, or is your head on that bulkhead? And if you go up a floor, do the floors? I'm gonna have to make a drawing of it and ask and make a TikTok asking the question, because to me it's kind of like that question of like, if a horse wore pants, would it wear it like this or like this?
Maybe it's just in like the four corners, maybe like of each Death Star, just to kind of make a poll. I don't know. Star Wars science.
yeah. A question for another day. We are out of time, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Geek Theory, Alex, X-Core Gamers, Cal4, Carter, Justin, Funny Science Fiction Podcast. Let's see here if I can go any further. Starkiller 5555, Cad Bane, Connor. Everyone else that was here earlier that has now left due to probably UK time. Brian with a beard, LOL. I like Ray or whatever. Ilke TR. Thank you guys for tuning in. Guys, do you have any final thoughts, Harith, at all?
I feel like we hit most of the things that have been discussed when it comes to Bad Batch, and we went way too long on Kenobi.
Yes, we did.
But come on, it's Kenobi. let's not get ourselves here. We just renamed the episode to the Kenobi episode, and nobody will notice.
Yeah.
Kenobi batch.
Kenobi Batch.
I mean, we still spent a great deal of time on the Bad Batch. More than
True.
20 minutes.
Yeah, I was a little surprised Julia didn't show up. We mentioned Obi-Wan more than 3 times.
Yes,
We said
did.
Satine a couple. I said Satine. I'm shocked that she didn't come in with the Corky.
Corky Kenobi. Well, we'll test that right now during your final thoughts. Corky Kenobi. That's 3 times. Okay, Chaco, go.
Yeah, thank you for everyone for joining. I just love getting to nerd out and hang out with the chat. That's a big difference with this in the high ground. Get to spend more time with you guys, which is awesome. Super excited for the show. Can't wait for May 4th. And we'll probably try to do some live showings of it so that we can watch it with you guys. So stay tuned.
That like
Yes.
the week of May 4th is gonna be crazy because we have the first episode that's 70 minutes, and on Friday we have the next episode.
Jeez.
So we're gonna get packed real quick. So we're gonna have like a Thursday, 70 minutes, and then Friday, and then we're gonna have like we're gonna have like literally the next day. If you think about it.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I know, but it's just like who needs sleep?
Now, I don't know if we're gonna do like a live stream. Maybe Chaco's gonna do a live stream, but we do plan on having like a watch along in the public Discord. So if you go to Chaco's bio, or he may just send a link in the chat right now. Join the public Discord server. We'll probably have a watch along there on the premiere of Bad Batch, and we may even live stream it as well and try to. Well, we're not going to show anything on the stream, that's for sure. Copyright
The
reasons.
most you could probably do is probably just put a time code in the corner of how long into the episode you've been.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just probably going to capture like the time bar itself on the player, the Disney Plus player, and then kind of do it like that. But yeah, if you guys want to participate in a watch along, whether it's live streamed or just kind of in the public Discord server, join that link. Join us on the public Discord server, and be around May 4th. Maybe May 3rd at midnight, right?
Yeah, May 3rd at midnight. 2 days after my birthday. Thanks, Filoni. You're gonna make me cry.
Awesome.
Probably.
Thank you so much to Harith for joining us on this Bad Obi-Wan Batch Kenobi episode. We look forward to having you on again for another trailer that drops and you're like, can I be on? I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this. It helps. It helps knowing when somebody is passionate about something to have them on that episode.
Definitely.
If I have to pick out of a bunch of people and I'm like, I don't really know what makes these guys tick, but if you approach me and you're like, I want to be on, I want to talk about this, because we might have a book of Boba Fett, and X-Core Gamer Skills is probably going to lose it if I don't have him on for that one. But again, thank you to Darth Chaco as well, my dyad. And thank you guys for your ramen food supply drops. It's always appreciated. We will have a ramen party at some point. But yeah, that is the end. On to the next one, and may the Force be with you all.